What if the boy everyone laughed at was never weak? What if the world was just too small to see what was standing right in front of them? This is the story of Mo Lin, and by the time it ends, nothing in Daxia will ever be the same. His grandfather was the purple-gold mad lion, an S-rank fierce beast that shook an entire region into trembling silence. His grandmother surpassed even that, a double S-rank divine beast, the jade-scale serpent emperor, a living legend written into the blood of history. To supreme bloodlines, to titan ancestors, and then there was Mo Lin. On paper, he should have been the pride of a generation, a son of heaven, touched by greatness before he ever took his first breath. But this world does not run on paper. In Daxia, every person awakens a beast soul, a creature that becomes their power, their identity, their future. The rankings run 7 tiers, D, C, B, A, S, double S, and the near-mythical triple S. Awakening a B-rank beast already marks you as a genius by most standards. S-rank puts you among 1 in a million. Double S places you among the absolute elite of the nation. And triple S, fewer than 10 people in all of Daxia have ever reached it. Mo Lin carries the blood of 2 S-rank beasts in his veins, and the whole world expected something extraordinary. What they got instead was a crumbling stone hut. Not a beast, a structure, ancient and decaying, flickering into view above the awakening stage like a condemned building waiting to be torn down. The laughter started before the light had even finished fading. Did he wander onto the wrong set? Everyone else gets a fierce beast and this guy gets a house. D rank, the lowest possible grade. This guy is finished, totally finished. Someone carry him out. The mockery washed over him from every direction, from students, from teachers, from the entire school gathered for the awakening ceremony at Shanghai Monster Academy. But Mo Lin's face showed no embarrassment. If anything, there was something strange in his eyes, not shame, not anger, but a quiet, unreadable glint, because in that same moment, a cold mechanical voice had erupted inside his mind. Congratulations, host. Binding to the Ten Fiends Divine Temple is complete. Complete 10 trials issued by the temple to awaken 10 ancient fierce beasts, reforged legend. The Ten Fiends Divine Temple, that crumbling, laughable stone hut was not a ruin at all. It was a gateway, and behind it waited something the world had no category for. But the system was not finished speaking. First trial initiated. Swallow the awakening stone before you within 1 minute. Crushing it counts as failure. The temple will automatically unbind. Success rewards the power of the Beyond Triple S rank TAOTIE. Beyond Triple S, a name from myth, a beast said to devour the sun and moon and stars themselves. Mo Lin stared at the stone beneath his feet, expression unreadable. Around him, the ceremony continued to fall apart. Principal Wade had already gone pale as iron, leaning toward the vice principal with a quiet and vicious order. Get this dead weight off the stage. His right to sit the college entrance exam is revoked. He is to clear his dormitory today and repay every cent of overdue tuition within 1 month, or we take him to court. The vice principal strode up onto the stage and tossed an expulsion notice at Mo Lin's feet, without a second glance, and then Vera stepped forward. The campus beauty, his girlfriend of years, walked to the edge of the stage with cold indifference already settled into her eyes. She had just awakened an S-rank green feather spirit deer, a rare healer type that every top holy order would fight over without hesitation. I have thought it through, she said flatly. We were never right for each other. You awaken a D-rank piece of garbage. I awaken S-rank. We do not belong in the same world anymore. We are done. The words fell like a blade, and she turned and walked away without a single glance back. The system timer was already counting down. 5 seconds. Mo Lin looked at the stone at his feet and made his decision in less than a heartbeat. Fine. I have been given a second life, and I refuse to ever let anyone walk over me again. He bent down, picked up the awakening stone, and shoved it into his mouth. The laughter died across the entire plaza in an instant. Every jaw dropped, every body went still, and then his consciousness was seized by a tremendous force and pulled into a vast, magnificent divine temple, the Ten Fiends Divine Temple itself. Inside stood 10 colossal beast silhouettes, each shrouded in darkness, each radiating a crushing, overwhelming presence. Then one of the silhouettes snapped its eyes open, twin points of burning crimson light. It let out a roar that shook the entire universe. The stars across the heavens seemed pulled by an invisible force, all pouring into its endless, gaping maw. This was the TAOTIE, the legendary Beyond Triple S rank devourer, feeder of stars. And it was his. A flood of information surged into his mind. Congratulations, host. First TAOTIE trial complete. You may now freely transform into the beyond triple S rank TAOTIE and have received the TAOTIE talent inheritance. Talent 1, Infinite Devourer. Anything and everything in existence can be consumed and converted into pure energy, absorbed 100% with zero waste. Talent 2, Infinite Plunder. Steal the talent of another and make it permanently your own. Once per day, the target permanently loses that talent. Talent 3, Wrathful Frenzy. When TAOTIE enters a state of rage, attack, defense, and recovery surge 10 times over. The enemy does not die. The battle does not end. Mo Lin finished reading and his heart surged with something that had no name. Pure. Electric Exhilaration. These talents were absurdly, impossibly powerful. Back on the stage, Principal Wade was still screaming about property damage and calling the police. And that was when Mo Lin opened his eyes. A flicker of deep crimson ferocity crossed his gaze. And Principal Wade took one step forward, then stopped. Whatever he had been about to say dissolved in his throat, because something had changed in the air around Mo Lin, something primal and suffocating. A savage, bloodthirsty killing aura exploded outward from him, swallowing the entire awakening stage in an instant. Every person in the plaza held their breath, faces drained of color, bodies trembled without consent. This aura felt less like a teenage boy and more like a fierce beast that had clawed itself out of ancient ruins. Homeroom teacher Mr. Leo, a B-rank awakener considered strong by academy standards, could barely breathe. He pulled Principal Wade aside. Whatever this kid awakened, it is nowhere near B-rank. We cannot afford to bury a talent like this. But the awakening stone was already inside Mo Lin. Testing was now impossible. Principal Wade's expression soured. He pulled out his phone and started making calls. Mo Lin watched it all with cold amusement. He had seen through Principal Wade's pettiness for a long time. The man had stripped him of dignity in front of everyone, and for that, there was no reason left to stay. While he was still thinking, a sharp dragon cry pierced the sky. A massive winged beast burst through the clouds and descended slowly, a gold-tier horn-winged drake, the supreme ace of the skies. 3 figures leapt from its back, and when the crowd got a clear look at who they were, the plaza erupted. The principals of Hurricane, Purple Gold, Azure Sea, and Shadewind Monster Academies, for rivals who never agreed on anything, had arrived together, carrying a massive awakening stone between them. Principal Wade, we heard your stone got swallowed, so we brought the biggest and purest one from our academy. Take a look, a whole lot better than your old one, wouldn't you say? Wade's face cycled through every shade of pale and green as the 4 principals descended on Mo Lin. Like merchants at a bidding war. Come to Hurricane, every resource we have is yours, no limits. Come to Purple Gold, the entire school's resources focused entirely on you. Come to Azure Sea, not one S-rank student, so everything is yours alone. Come to Shadewind, we have the most beautiful girls on campus. You just broke up, didn't you? The 4 principals argued until their faces turned red and spit flew freely, while the students below the stage stared in jaw-dropped disbelief. The difference in treatment was like night and day. Principal Wade roared at all of them, let him test his rank first. We do not even know if he is S-rank. Stop getting so worked up. Mo Lin's gaze drifted slowly across the crowd and settled on Vera. A flicker of amusement crossed his eyes. He was genuinely curious what expression she would be wearing when the truth came out. He stepped forward and pressed his palm flat against the new awakening stone. A blaze of light exploded outward, more blinding than what Vera had produced, lighting up all of Xinghai province in an instant. And then, with a sharp crack, the massive stone simply shattered. Blown apart by the light itself, fragments scattered across the ground. Dead silence fell over the entire plaza. Everyone knew what an awakening stone's measuring range covered, from D rank all the way to S rank. For it to shatter outright meant his talent had blown past S rank entirely. In the entire history of Xinghai Monster Academy, this had happened exactly once before. 30 years ago, with the student who later became War King Rex. And now it had happened again. In the crowd, Vera stared at the scene completely dumbstruck, every trace of cold indifference vanishing from her face. The boyfriend she dumped minutes ago had just awakened a talent that surpassed S rank entirely. The weight of it hit her all at once. Her legs gave out and she crumpled to the ground, face twisted with a regret that had nowhere to go. The 4 principals erupted at once, fighting harder than ever, voices overlapping into chaos. At Principal Wade, standing to the side with an expression uglier than anything, was utterly powerless to do a single thing about it. But this was only the beginning. Across Daxia, a law exists whenever an awakener above S rank appears anywhere in the 72 provinces and 36 domains, military command must be notified immediately. At the Qinghai Province Military Command Headquarters, Commander Quinn set down his pen and pulled up the live broadcast, his gaze landing on Mo Lin, his brow creasing slightly. Mo Lin, why does that name ring a bell? A subordinate stepped forward and spoke in a low voice. Sir, Mo is the son of two fallen heroes, Lance and Alora. Quinn shoved to his feet. 3 years ago, in the Battle of Xinghai's collapse, Lance and Alora gave their lives in combat. Lance had already passed the selection trials for the Red Holy Order, one of Daxia's for Great Holy Orders, before the battle had even begun. His future had been limitless, yet he fell on that battlefield. And now, standing before the nation on a live broadcast, was Lance's son. Quinn spoke with quiet authority. Deploy the military command's exclusive awakening stone immediately. This time, I am going to Xinghai Monster Academy in person. Then a relaxed, unhurried laugh drifted in from outside the room. If Commander Quinn is heading out, why not bring me along? I want to see for myself just how exceptional Lance's son really is. Quinn turned and bowed with full respect. War King Rex. Rex, the man who had shattered an awakening stone at this same school 30 years ago. Who had built one of the most powerful holy orders in all of Daxia. One of the 36 war kings, a name burned into every heart in Xinghai province. He had come personally. The three of them mounted an S-rank Hornwind Drake and raced toward the academy. Back at Xinghai Monster Academy, a comfortable reclining chair had somehow appeared beside the awakening stage, and Mo Lin was lounging in it with his eyes closed, completely at ease. The 4 visiting principals hovered around him like eager servants, one fanning him, one offering cold tea, one kneading his back, one massaging his legs. The students watched in jaw-dropped envy. Principal Wade trembled with barely contained fury. Then a fierce wind howled through the sky. An S-rank divine Hornwind Drake, far larger than anything that had come before it, descended slowly over the academy, blotting out the sky. When the crowd got a clear look at the man leading the 3 figures who leapt from its back, a composed, refined middle-aged man in white, the entire plaza exploded. No way. That is Rex. We're King Rex of the Tianyu Holy Order. What is he doing here? Rex surveyed the plaza with calm, unhurried eyes and spoke in a voice not especially loud, yet it reached every single ear clearly. I've come because word reached me that a young man of double S talent has emerged in Xinghai province, Commander Quinn, and I wanted to see for ourselves. What began as a local broadcast for Xinghai province now surged in viewership, spreading across all 72 provinces and 36 domains of Daxia. Countless eyes across the entire nation were now fixed on this awakening ceremony, fixed on Mo Lin. Rex's gaze finally settled on Mo Lin, and a practiced pleasant smile curved his lips. I hear you've withdrawn from Xinghai Monster Academy. Young man, don't be impulsive. Short-sightedness only costs you your own future. He offered a tidy resolution. Both sides apologized, moved forward, and after graduation, Mo Lin could join the Tianyu Holy Order alongside Rex's son, Ren. Every eye in the plaza was on Mo Lin, waiting. Farah sat on the ground watching with eyes burning with jealousy and resentment. This boy she had discarded was now receiving a personal invitation from War King Rex. Mo Lin slowly opened his eyes. His voice was calm, carrying an absolute, unshakable finality. I am not returning to school, and I will not be joining your Tianyu Holy Order. A flash of displeasure and cold fury crossed Rex's eyes. In the 10 years since he had become a war king of Daxia, no one in the entire nation had ever dared refuse him. Mo Lin was the first. Rex laughed inwardly with contempt. Does this kid think awakening a double S talent makes him untouchable? The plaza went completely silent as everyone came to the same realization at once. Mo Lin had just made an enemy of War King Rex. The 4 visiting principals each took a quiet step back. Not one of them breathed another word about recruiting him. Even the top universities that had been itching to make their move instantly thought better of it. But Mo Lin didn't care at all. He rose slowly from his chair and walked toward the military command's exclusive awakening stone. Rex gave him one cold, dismissive glance, then shifted his attention away entirely, letting his gaze drift toward Vera, his tone noticeably softer. Young lady, you awaken an S-rank green feather spirit deer. A fine talent. Would you be willing to join the Tianyu Holy Order after graduation? Vera's eyes lit up in an instant. Every trace of jealousy and resentment evaporated, replaced by surging joy. She scrambled to her feet and bowed with everything she had. Yes, she would serve Ren with everything she had. She said, "Thank you, we're King Rex." And that was the moment everything changed. Boom! A pillar of blood-red light as thick as a barrel erupted from within Mo Lin, punching through the clouds and driving straight into the heavens. An ancient, savage, bloodthirsty aura of pure terror swept across all of Shanghai Monster Academy in an instant, spreading to every corner of the province. Every person present was crushed by that aura, suffocating under its weight, dropping to their knees one after another, faces white with fear. At the center of that blazing pillar, Mo Lin transformed into the TAOTIE, uncontrolled, unstoppable, a blood-red body standing over 3 meters tall, coated in hard scales, twin crimson eyes blazing with boundless ferocity, a pair of tattered wings trembling at its back. He stood with his back to the crowd like a blood god walking out of hell itself. From somewhere in the crowd, a trembling voice cried out, "Is this what Double S feels like? This is absolutely terrifying." But the aura kept climbing, stronger and stronger, covering all of Shanghai province, turning heaven and earth violently. The blood-red pillar blazed brighter and brighter. Shockwaves felt across all 72 provinces of Daxia. Rex's face went pale in an instant. He surged to his feet, a cry tearing out of him involuntarily. "Something is wrong. This is not Double S. This aura is countless times stronger than anything I felt when I awakened." His mind threw up one terrifying thought and could not shake it loose. This young man did not awaken a Double S beast. He awakened the legendary Triple S. In all of Daxia, the number of prodigies who had ever reached Triple S could be counted on to hands. A Triple S talent earned an unconditional invitation to any Daxias for great holy orders, institutions so powerful that even the 9 great heavenly kings were beneath their notice. Compared to them, Rex's Tianyu Holy Order was nothing. The students around Mo Lin dropped to their knees under the crushing pressure, unable to resist, unable to stand. Vera clenched her jaw and forced her body upright with every last ounce of strength, refusing to kneel before the boy she had thrown away. The 4 academy principals, Principal Wade, all of them gritted their teeth and fought it, bodies shaking completely beyond their control. Vera's face twisted with increasing agony. Finally, she could hold on no longer. With a heavy thud, she dropped to her knees and bowed her head before him. But Mo Lin sensed something wrong in that same moment, a force probing into the depths of his body. Through the awakening stone, every alarm inside him went off at once. If the world learned that Daxia had produced a talent surpassing even Triple S, wild beasts beyond the barrier would mark him as a target, and powers from other nations would stop at nothing to eliminate him. He immediately channeled the TAOTIE's infinite devourer, forcibly consuming the probing force entirely, and pulled every shred of his overflowing aura back within its limits. And that is when the other kind of player arrived, far beyond the human barrier. A man in silver-white battle armor stepped out from behind a fallen gold and jade 3rd-tier monster, casually wiping the blood from his spear tip. "Stop sending me out for every small-time nuisance," he said. "They are too weak, not even worth the effort." Then word reached him. A Triple S talent had just appeared in Shanghai province. He ended the call, launched himself into the air, and vanished into the distance as a streak of silver light. This man was the vice captain of the Red Holy Order, one of Daxia's for great holy orders, and the youngest vice captain in all of Daxia, awakener of the Triple S rank. "Nine Heaven's Silver Dragon, Zane." Back at the plaza, a voice cut through the tension. "All right, that is enough. How long are you planning to keep everyone on their knees?" Mo Lin released his beast form, without expression, and returned to human shape. Rex forced down the shock raging inside him and stepped forward. "I am curious. What beast did you actually awaken?" Mo Lin narrowed his eyes and said nothing. Any fool knows that revealing your beast's full details in public is the same as laying out every strength, every trait, and every weakness for the entire world to see. Then Rex pressed further. "The TAOTIE has never appeared in any record in human history. It would be of enormous research value. Can you tell us more?" And that was when a booming voice shattered through the sky, rattling every eardrum in the plaza. "If you are so keen on others spilling their secrets, why don't you trot out that Tianyu Azure Dragon of yours first, and give us all a nice detailed rundown?" Before the words finished echoing, a figure dropped from the sky and landed squarely in front of Mo Lin. Zane, vice captain of the Red Holy Order, barely 30 years old. Yet his power rivaled any war king in all of Daxia. The plaza exploded. A figure of that level had come here for Mo Lin. Rex's face went dark. He tried to remind Zane that he was technically derelict from a border mission. Zane shrugged with easy, unbothered contempt. Finished that mission a long time ago. Golden Jade 3rd tier beast. One shot, done. There was a War King Rex also a Golden Jade 3rd tier last year. My apologies. Rex's expression iced over. The two traded barbs with the practiced rhythm of enemies who had despised each other for years. Then Zane moved, a single flash, and he appeared at Mo Lin's side. The aura coming off you is exactly my kind of thing. Let's be friends. I am Zane, 10 years older than you. Just call me Zane. Mo Lin scratched the back of his head, a little awkward, and said he was not great with words. Sorry if I come across rough. What are you apologizing for? Zane clapped him on the shoulder, grinning wider. Come join the Red Holy Order. Give it a few years to build your strength, and you can spar with me every single day. Rex trembled with barely controlled fury and snapped, publicly insulting a war king of Daxia. Is grounds for rest? Zane looked completely unbothered. He beckoned Rex toward him with a single finger. Come on then. I'd love nothing more. And while we are at it, I am issuing you a formal challenge for your rank. Do you dare accept? Rex's face contorted horribly. He could not say a single word. Coward, Zane said with a derisive laugh. I love that look on your face. Cannot stand me. Cannot beat me. Then Ren stepped forward, voice tight with anger, demanding to know why Zane was humiliating his father in public. Zane threw one cold glance in Ren's direction. Ren froze like he had been dropped into an ice pit, every muscle locking up, even breathing becoming a struggle. Adults are talking, Zane said flatly. Who told a kid like you to open his mouth? Shut it. Then Zane's tone shifted entirely, something stripped clean of all performance and humor. From start to finish, every single one of you disgusts me. When did Daxia's so-called powerful people become a crowd of spineless opportunists with no vision? It is because of people like you that Daxia has ended up the way it has. He turned to Mo Lin when his parents joined the Red Holy Order. I was the one who personally assessed them. His father, Lance, was a man of enormous character and iron will. I believe the apple does not fall far from the tree. None of you wanted him. The Red Holy Order does. I am putting this on record right here and now. From this moment forward, Mo is my sworn brother. Anyone who dares lay a hand on him had better first test whether my silver dragon spear is hard enough to stop them. Zane swept his arm back with a wide, powerful motion, and the silver spear in his hand shot skyward like a bolt of liquid light, then came crashing back down, driving itself deep into the earth at the center of the plaza. The spear shuddered and rang out with wave after wave of dragon cries. Rex's eyes were ice. This was the first time in his life he had been humiliated so thoroughly before a crowd. He knew the truth. If he truly came to blows with Zane, he would not stand a chance. And then several more figures appeared suddenly in the skies above Xinhai province. The presidents of Daxia's foremost elite monster universities, every single one of them, had all arrived. When Rex himself had awakened his double S-rank Tianyu Azure Dragon 30 years ago, even that hadn't brought out a gathering like this. The entire school melted down. Good Lord, just what kind of monster has our class produced? Mo, come to Modu Monster University. Beast Blood Essence, Elixirs, Combat Weapons, Beast Jade, Beast Cores, whatever you ask for, we provide. Mo, come to Elvin. I'll have a combat weapon forged directly from Diamond Rank Beast Shell, along with the complete blood essence of a Diamond Rank Beast. Come to Genhai, we hand you a complete Diamond Rank Beast carcass outright, with every resource to go along with it. Come to Imperial Capital University, we have the complete carcass of a Red Jade Rank Beast, and an exclusive Beast Jade forged from it that suits you perfectly. We give it to you outright. The presidents of Daxia's for great universities argued openly on the spot, bordering on madness. The students around them stared in stupefied silence. Red Jade Rank Beasts, Diamond Rank Beasts, forever out of reach for ordinary people, being casually dangled as recruitment bonuses. Every pair of eyes in the crowd had gone red with envy. Vera's face twisted beyond recognition, her whole body shaking. She edged up beside the president of Modu Monster University and carefully cleared her throat. She had awakened S-rank, she said. War King Rex had already promised her a place in the Tianyu Holy Order. She wasn't bad, right? The president gave a vague, The cinema sent sound in reply and didn't spare her another glance. Turning straight back to the argument over Mo Lin, Vera froze on the spot as if she had literally turned to stone. Then Zane let out a thundering shout that silenced the entire plaza. "All right, all four of you old-timers, shut it. Mo will not be joining any of your universities. Are you honestly telling me there is nowhere in all of Daxia better than your four schools?" The moment those words landed, someone spoke in a trembling voice. "Could it be you want him to go to Purgatory University?" "Exactly," Zane said without hesitation. "Only that school can bring out his true potential. Daxia University, built jointly by Daxias for great holy orders and military command together, accepting exactly 100 students per year, 3 years enrollment, 300 students in total. Yet it employed the 125 instructors, the 9 great heavenly kings, the 36 war kings, the 70 garrison generals, and 108 elite combat commanders. And the detail that made everyone go pale, its death rate stood at 70%. Zane turned to face Mo Lin, his tone grave and sincere. "Mo, are you willing to join Daxia University? I will be straight with you, even with the triple S talent. You must pass a formal entrance assessment to get in. We do not promise resources, we do not grant special privileges, but I can promise you this. If you make it to graduation, you will become one of the most powerful figures in all of military command. If you take first place in the entrance assessment, you will be the future captain of the Red Holy Order. When that day comes, no one will ever be able to use power or bloodline to push you down. No one will ever force you to do anything against your will again. One man can become a clan unto himself. One man can stand as a dynasty of 100 years. Mo Lin raised his hand. "Hey, Vice Captain, quick question. If I join Daxia University, will I be able to kill beasts?" Zane blinked, caught off guard for a moment, then burst out laughing. "Of course, you know why Daxia University's death rate is so high. Because every student is required to go deep into the heart of the ruins and hunt beasts to build real combat experience. So you like killing beasts?" "It was all right," Mo Lin said. He knew exactly what he needed. The TAOTIE's second trial, the 10,000 beast trial, required the devouring of 10,000 bronze-rank beast carcasses inside Daxia University. There would be no shortage of beasts to kill. Zane laughed with pure, unrestrained joy. "I knew I had the right red on you. You were born to be a fighter." Mo Lin broke into a wide grin and said out loud, "I will join Daxia University. This life of mine was always destined to be lived in blood and battle." Zane reached into his coat immediately and pulled out a token, handing it over. "In 1 month, Daxia University opens its entrance assessment. Just take this pass and show up. And this, the blood essence of a gold-ranked blood ghost wolf. Consider it a welcome gift from your new older brother. What kind of weapon do you like?" The heaven-devouring divine spear flashed through Mo Lin's mind instantly. He answered without hesitation, "I like spears." Zane went still again for a beat, then slapped his shoulder and roared with laughter. "You've got real taste, kid. I know of a spear that suits you even better. I will have it sent to you before the assessment. From here on, do whatever you want without holding back, with me around. No one will dare use size or status to push you around." As he said this, he shot a sideways glance at Rex not far away. Rex's expression was at its absolute worst, yet he didn't dare say a single word. Face dark and stormy, he hurled a token into Vera's hands, a registered member's pass for the Tianyu Holy Order, and without another word, turned and left with Ren, not looking back once. Vera stared at the token in her hand. The joy she should have been feeling was nowhere to be found, only a hollow, endless regret. Zane prepared to leave as well, but before going, he swept his gaze across the entire plaza and left behind one cold warning. "I will not interfere in rivalries among the young. But if any of you try to use your age or your power to bully those beneath you, do not blame me for what comes next." Then he became a streak of silver light and vanished into the sky. The university presidents shook their heads and took their leave one by one. Only Principal Wade remained, standing alone, too devastated even for tears. He had not just lost a once-in-10,000 years talent. He had made a permanent enemy in the process. And then a young man walked up to Vera and pretended to help her up before snapping his head around and glaring at Mo Lin with open fury. "Mo, how could you do this to her? What kind of man are you? I am challenging you to a death match. Do you have the guts to accept?" "Why would I not?" Mo Lin replied, completely unbothered. 1 million Daxia coins on the line. "Otherwise, do not bother." "Done." The man, Pen, agreed without a second thought. Pen's father was Tao of the Blood Flame Holy Order, and backed by that name, Pen didn't even blink. The four principals turned on Pen immediately. He had awakened 3 days ago at S rank, his level already significant. Mo Lin had just awakened today. This was not a fair fight. Pen smirked. He agreed to this himself. If he doesn't care, why should any of you? Mo Lin confirmed it. This is my choice. I ask only that you respect it. The fight began. Pen transformed into his S-rank Golden Peng, Black Iron 5th tier, already powerful from 3 days of intense cultivation. Mo Lin transformed into the dominating blood-red silhouette of the TAOTIE, Black Iron 1st tier, for full tiers behind. In everyone's eyes, crossing a gap like that was simply impossible. But Mo Lin couldn't care less. Pen launched himself forward with the force of a mountain, and Mo Lin activated Wrathful Frenzy. His aura surged to a manic peak in an instant. By the time Pen realized what was happening, the Taotie's massive claw had already slammed down onto the Golden Peng's body. Then Mo Lin activated Infinite Plunder. Pen felt it clearly, his talent, Flash Blade, being ripped out of him by force. Stop! Who gave you the nerve? Who dares lay a hand on my son? A furious, frantic roar tore through the air. Tao of the Blood Flame Holy Order arrived with murderous intent blazing in his eyes. Mo Lin looked up at him, cold and flat. Who do you think you are? You lose, you die. That is the rule. Without a shred of mercy, he drove one claw straight into the Golden Peng's chest, tore out its beast core with his bare hand, and crushed it to dust in his grip. The entire crowd watched it happen, and not a single person could find a word to say. Then a stone colossus hundreds of meters tall dropped from the sky and crashed into the earth, shaking the entire plaza to its core. Tao's awakened beast, the stone colossus, reached out one enormous hand that blotted out the sky and brought it crashing down toward Mo Lin. You killed my son. I will kill you first. You can die alongside him. The 4 academy principals moved to intervene, but for gold tier fighters combined, could not stop a Blue Jade rank military command commander. Tao, do not let rage drive you to ruin. Mo is a once in 10,000 years prodigy of Daxia. Do you have any idea what the consequences are? He is a prodigy of Daxia, and my son was not. Tao screamed back. Why does my son have to die while he gets to live? And that was when a third voice cut through everything, calm, yet carrying an absolute crushing authority. Stand down. Stand down nothing. Tao snarled, then saw who was standing there, and every muscle in his body seized up. Captain. Captain Blaze of the Blood Flame Holy Order spoke in a voice dangerously cold. Your son died because he was not good enough in a death match. He belongs to Zane, the Nine-Heaven Silver Dragon. Zane said it himself, anyone who dares to bully the weak, he shows no mercy. Do you want the entire Blood Flame Holy Order to go down with you? The live stream is still running. Zane may very well be watching every second of this. If he truly arrives, even I cannot protect you. Tao's gaze was locked onto Mo Lin, burning with a hatred that wanted to tear him apart alive. Yet that enormous palm, blotting out the sky above his head, simply could not come down. And then, far away in the Imperial capital at Red Holy Order headquarters, Zane didn't even glance up from polishing his silver dragon spear. His expression shifted, and a razor-sharp spear light erupted in the open air. Above Xinghai Province, Captain Blaze's face changed violently. That is Zane. This is only his battle intent, and already it is this powerful. Vice Captain Zane, please spare Tao out of respect for me. The spear light came crashing down directly on Tao's skull before Blaze could finish speaking. That massive stone body, struck as if by divine lightning, exploded into pieces in an instant. Who do you think you are asking me for respect? A cold, merciless voice resonated through the air. Anyone who harms Daxia's prodigies will be judged as a traitor without exception. Does the Blood Flame Holy Order have objections? Captain Blaze's face drained to a deathly pale. He scrambled to respond. This has nothing to do with the Blood Flame Holy Order. Not one bit. Every last thing was Tao's doing alone. Vice Captain Zane struck well. The moment those words landed, the entire crowd erupted in disbelief. This was Zane's dominance, and this was the foundation for Mo Lin's daring to challenge a Daxia War King in public. No power, no status, no backing. In a world like this, countless people would work openly and in secret to destroy a rising prodigy. But with Zane standing behind him, no one who used their power and connections to crush the weak would walk away unpunished. Tao had been the greatest warning of all. Blaze broke the silence and bowed toward Mo Lin, his tone thick with flattery. The blame for this incident falls entirely on me for failing to discipline my subordinates. Please accept this beast jade from a gold-tier meteor firewolf as my personal apology. The crowd was stunned once more. The captain of the Blood Flame Holy Order had bowed and apologized publicly to a young newcomer. Mo Lin pocketed the beast jade and walked away from the ceremony hall. The Shanghai Monster Academy awakening ceremony was over, but the story was only getting started. With a triple S rank awakening to his name, money was no longer a problem. Mo Lin contacted the buyer who had purchased his old home, tracking the property through several owners until he reached the new owner's name, Celestia. He called the number. A clear, cool voice came through the phone, informing him she was already living there and had no plans to sell. Then the line went dead. Then it rang again. What did you say your name was, Mo? Half an hour. Sea Island Cafe. I will be waiting. Shortly after, a strikingly beautiful young woman took the seat directly across from him with a thick stack of documents between them. The apartment is mine and I am not selling, she said, cutting straight to it. But if you are willing, I can rent you a room. Co-tenancy agreement. 1,000 a month. Mo Lin blinked. The apartment was over 140 square meters. Market rent would start at 4,000 a month or more. Celeste was clearly not making this offer without an ulterior motive. But if she, a woman, was not afraid, why should he, a grown man, hesitate? He picked up the pen and signed his name. Watching his signature go down, the faintest smile crossed Celeste's lips. Let me get a good close look at you, she thought. We share the same triple S talent. So what is it about you that made Senior Zane care so much? That evening, Celeste invited Mo Lin out to dinner, using the meal as a chance to probe his secrets. But the moment they walked into the restaurant, every pair of eyes in the room snapped instantly to Celeste, the eldest daughter of the imperial capital Jia clan. Celeste Jia, a triple S rank awakener, a true once-in-a-generation prodigy. Mo Lin raised an eyebrow. You are the eldest daughter of the imperial capital Jia clan? Celeste's best friend Susuning was already at the restaurant and wasted no time. So what is the deal with you two? She is my landlord. I am her tenant, Mo Lin said. Suju's eyes lit up instantly. Celeste is already living with a guy. Spilled everything right now. Once they were seated in a private room, Mo Lin turned to Celeste and cut straight to it. The eldest daughter of the imperial capital Jia clan goes out of her way to get close to a broke student like me. What exactly are you after? Simple, Celeste said without beating around the bush. She had once tried to take Zane as her master, and he turned her down flat. Yet Zane had traveled all the way to Shanghai province for Mo Lin, and went so far as to personally execute a military command officer, something even he had no right to do freely. Now Qin Hao, the Qin family's third son, had filed a formal complaint against Zane in military command, and Zane's situation had become very delicate. So tell me, she said, what is so extraordinary about you that makes Senior Zane value you this highly? Because I, Celestia, am also a triple S awakener, and I have never been second to anyone. Mo Lin couldn't help but laugh. Miss Jia, are you jealous of me? The back and forth went quickly from polite sparring to a direct proposition. Susu cheerfully suggested they just fight it out, and Celeste agreed with a cool nod. A match does make sense, but a direct fight might leave someone injured before the Daxia University entrance exam. Here's what I propose. We go outside the barrier. Shanghai Province's military command kill ranking has a monster at number 45. Whoever takes it down first wins. Mo Lin's interest spiked at once. And if I win, there is no way you win, Celeste said flatly. Then what is the fun in that? Celeste bit her lip as if steeling herself. Fine. If you win, from this day forward, I become your personal aide. Where you say east, I go east. I will not so much as glance west. Deal. Their group arrived at Shanghai Province Military Command shortly after. Commander Quinn shook his head so fast it looked like a rattle drum. Absolutely not. Not a chance. Celeste calmly demonstrated her power. Black Iron Tier 10. Achieved in less than 1 month since awakening, and Quinn's jaw dropped. For me, the Black Iron Tier system is barely worth acknowledging, she said simply. Quinn turned his gaze to Mo Lin. What about you? Mo Lin paused. Black Iron Tier 3. No, absolutely not. Even Celeste struggled to suppress a laugh. She said playfully, maybe you should just admit defeat now and spare Commander Quinn the worry about my safety. I think about this for a brief moment, then turn and walk out of the office, slipping into the restroom next door. There he pulled out 3 bright red vials and 3 beast cores. Bronze tier 3 resources taken from Pen. He activated Infinite Devourer. Under normal circumstances, absorbing monster blood essence required dilution, slow soaking, and still only delivered roughly 50% efficiency. Not here. In the blink of an eye, all 3 vials of blood essence vanished without a trace. All 3 beast cores swallowed whole. The restroom flooded with dense red glow. Black iron tier 6. Done. But that was not enough. Mo Lin needed a crushing, overwhelming victory. He reached into his pocket and pulled out 1 more vial, a golden one, the blood essence of a gold tier blood ghost wolf given to him by Zane. Under normal circumstances, forcibly absorbing gold tier blood essence at his level carried a 99.9% chance of complete bodily destruction. But he possessed the TAOTIE's infinite devourer talent, and he had absolutely nothing to fear. A dense, overwhelming aura of savage ferocity instantly engulfed the entire military command building. In the office, Commander Quinn shot to his feet. Has a monster broken in? A soldier sprinted in breathlessly. Commander, the source of the aura it is in the restroom. What? The restroom? Quinn raced down the corridor with Celeste and Susu behind him, and when they burst through the restroom door, what they found inside stopped them cold. A gold tier monster's aura, emanating from Mo Lin. You used the gold tier blood essence Zane gave you, Quinn cried. At your level, even a single drop is enough to shatter your body from the inside, and you are absorbing the entire thing? Just watch, Mo Lin said. He stared up at the phantom of the blood ghost wolf hovering in the air and scoffed, his voice dripping with contempt. You want to kill me, fight back against me, keep stalling, and I will devour you until there is not a single scrap left. Goaded into fury, the blood ghost wolf plunged straight down and lunged directly at him. Mo Lin grinned wide, his eyes flashing blood red in an instant, and the phantom of a massive crimson beast opened its jaws and swallowed him whole. When the red light finally faded, Mo Lin reappeared, and behind him stood the imposing phantom of TAOTIE, radiating absolute dominance. Celeste's pupils contracted sharply. She had seen his transformation in video before, but witnessing it in person was 1,000 times more staggering. Mo Lin drove his fist into the blood ghost wolf skull, while the terrifying devouring force of TAOTIE wrapped around the wolf's entire body. Like a raging storm, the blood ghost wolf let out one final, desperate cry, and its entire body dissolved involuntarily into a torrent of crimson energy surging into him. Black iron tier 10. Done. He released his transformed state and looked calmly at the dumbstruck Commander Quinn. Commander Quinn, do I qualify to go outside the barrier now? Quinn was so stunned, he couldn't find a single word to say. Then he finally snapped back to his senses. Very well, I get permission, but I will follow in the shadows to ensure your safety. The group stepped through the teleportation array and arrived at the frontline garrison. The moment they landed, a suffocating aura of violence and blood hit them head-on. 3 kilometers outside the garrison lay the target, the flowing water demon frog, number 45 on the military command kill ranking. But someone else had already arrived first. 3 mercenaries led by a woman named Lily had set a trap using silver scalefish as bait, and were waiting for the frog to emerge. The frog burst from the lake and immediately revealed the trap for what it was, sending razor-sharp water blades straight into the hiding spot. 1 mercenary died on the spot, the others fled, and that was when a brilliant blue-eyed phoenix streaked across the sky, Celeste dropping into the fight. The frog's tongue cracked like a whip straight at Celeste, while a spray of lethal venom erupted from its mouth. The moment the ice spikes made contact with the venom, every single one of them melted away to nothing. Celeste's expression shifted immediately. This flowing water demon frog was no bronze tier monster. At the critical moment, a towering crimson figure dropped from above. Mo Lin activated Wrathful Frenzy, and the entire space was swallowed in a tide of blood red. The massive water column surging toward him was blown apart with a single punch. He activated the plunder talent he had stolen from Pan, Flash Blade, and his speed surged an entire tier in an instant. Crimson palm strikes trailing layers of afterimages shattered every last water blade. Then he vanished from the spot entirely, a golden eagle shadow blazing past. As if TAOTIE had grown a pair of golden wings, he appeared directly in front of the flowing water demon frog in an instant. The frog was so terrified its entire body locked up. It could not move. Mo Lin clenched his fist and threw a single punch, killing it on the spot. He held up the beast core and beast jade, gave Celeste a faint smile. I win this one. Celeste looked at him with a complicated expression. A deal is a deal. I lost. She knew better than anyone. If he had not stepped in when he did, she would not have escaped without severe injuries. But the mercenaries were not finished. Lily and her companion emerged from behind the trees with eyes full of greed, and offered poisoned water under the guise of gratitude. Celeste refused outright. Mo Lin snatched both vials before anyone could react, tossed one to Celeste, and drank the entire thing in one go. Lily rubbed her hands together with a sly grin. So, how does it taste, our dear saviors? Not bad at all. Mo Lin smiled pleasantly, very refreshing, with just a hint of poison. Lily froze. You could taste the poison and you still drank it? That is right. He nodded. I tasted it on the very first sip, but I was genuinely thirsty. So I figured, why not? Celeste turned and opened her mouth, spitting out a perfectly formed ice cube with the entire untouched vial sealed inside it. Both mercenaries stared in stunned silence. Mo Lin spread his arms wide and grinned. Come on then. Come kill me. I am poisoned. I am completely helpless right now. His blood aura erupted into a raging boil across his entire body, savage crushing pressure flooding the area in an instant. The two mercenaries bolted, but Celeste raised one graceful hand, and a thick wall of ice erupted from the ground, cutting off their escape. Both transformed into their monster forms in desperation. Neither was fast enough. Mo Lin flickered forward, slammed his foot onto one skull, fired a palm strike through the air at the other, and both were forced back into human form, stripped of all ability to resist. Commander Quinn's voice thundered with fury. There is no one in all of Daxia who can save you now. Mo Lin spoke calmly. Commander Quinn, finish them. Quinn raised his hand and ended both their lives with a single motion. But returning to the garrison brought its own complications. 3 young men were drawing whispers from every direction. The Wang family's 3 brothers, from the imperial capital, known associates of War King Rex and practically his personal lackeys. Celeste's brow furrowed immediately. All 3 have awakened S-rank beasts, and their levels are past bronze tier 3, she said. Find somewhere to stay out of sight if you can. But the words were barely out of her mouth when the Ten Fiends Divine Temple sounded a notification. Inside Mo Lin's mind, the ancient beast True Dragon has issued the first trial. Hosts must enter the system space within 10 minutes. Failure will result in forced extraction. By now, the 3 brothers, Crusher, Fang, and Flare Wong, had already walked straight up. Crusher smirked. Well, if it is not Xinghai Province's greatest prodigy, come out to the ruins for training? Or is the mighty prodigy not so confident about passing the Daxia University exam? Our Uncle Rex was humiliated in front of everyone. He's an elder, so he chose not to lower himself to your level. We 3 brothers have no such restraint. Susu waved her fist in outrage. Go beat them senseless. Celeste turned to Mo Lin quietly. Can you handle this? He was just about to reply when his vision went dark and his body went limp. He collapsed straight toward Celeste. Time is up. Forcefully extracting host into the Divine Temple, commenced the True Dragon trial. A dragon's roar that shook the heavens tore through the air, and within a dim and formless space, the silhouette of the True Dragon slowly opened its golden eyes. Human, welcome to my trial. Pass it, and my power becomes yours. A pool of golden liquid shimmered into existence, thick white mist rising, and churning above its surface, an almost unbearable scorching heat washing over him in waves. This is the concentrated essence of my blood. You will enter the dragon blood pool and absorb every last drop within it. During this process, the Ten Fiends Divine Temple will seal TAOTIE's power within you. You will absorb it through your physical body alone. Endure it, and my power is yours. Fail and death is your reward. My lips curl into a light smile. Free power. Why would I ever say no? Without a moment's hesitation, he charged straight toward the dragon blood pool. The moment his body made contact with the drifting white mist, his skin was scorched across large patches instantly. Interesting. He licked his lips, eyes blazing with wild excitement. Come on then. Let me show you who is truly the master of this body. Bring the storm and make it hurt. He leapt into the dragon blood pool in one step. The True Dragon watched, his eyes full of approval. The first trial, the trial of courage, you have passed. Inside the pool, every part of him felt like it was being ground to dust, every bone, every fiber of flesh crushed over and over, then rebuilt, only to be crushed again. This is incredible. I feel like I am about to take off. This is my body, and I am in charge of it. He roared from within the dragon blood pool, absorbing the dragon blood in a frenzy, as if the bone-splitting, soul-searing agony did not even register. The true dragon watched in absolute disbelief. Is this guy some kind of masochist? Congratulations, host. First trial of the true dragon complete. Talent acquired, dragon might. Suppresses 50% of the combat power of monsters at the same level. Second talent, Dragon War Fist. Grants the true dragon clan's innate close combat mastery through physical strength. Third talent, Call Wind and Rain. Allows the host to summon wind and rain at will. Congratulations, host. Second trial of the true dragon complete. Indestructible dragon body acquired. Severed limbs regenerate. The body cannot be killed or destroyed. Dragon runes shield the body against all harm. Mo Lin's heart surged. With physical strength alone, he could crush a bronze tier 1 monster with his bare hands. And with the indestructible dragon body, unless someone could reduce him to ash in a single strike, even if half his body were destroyed, he would regenerate instantly. The true dragon's booming voice filled the space. Young one, now that you have completed my trial, you may go. The dragon placed its dragon pearl in his hands, and behind him the crimson shadow of TAOTIE spoke with an amused lilt. So, old dragon, not bad, right? He is indeed something. After all, he passed my trial. Your trial is worth absolutely nothing, the true dragon replied coolly. Everyone knows all you need to do is eat. And what is wrong with eating? I eat. I get stronger. Food is the foundation of all things. What would you know about anything? When his consciousness returned to his body, the Wang brothers' mockery hit him immediately. The perks of being a prodigy. When the fight gets real, just pretend to pass out. Someone carry the little genius home for his nap. Mo Lin opened his eyes slowly. He stretched leisurely and rose to his feet. Hold on. Nobody leaves just yet. Sorry about that. Stayed up till late last night. Got a little drowsy. Had a quick nap. You wanted to fight me. Let us get on with it. I need to go home and sleep some more afterward. Crusher's face darkened. All you have to do is apologize and bow twice. And we 3 brothers let this go. What I mean is, Mo Lin said evenly, having you come at me one at a time is a waste of everyone's time. Keep it simple. All 3 of you at once. I will finish this in one go. All 3 brothers stared with eyes wide open. 1 against 3. They genuinely couldn't tell if this was ignorance or fearlessness. Fine. We will give you exactly that. With a thunderous shout, all 3 transformed, 3 massive pillars of light engulfing them at once. Crusher's beast, the S-rank green jade demon bull, enormous as a small hillside, raw power absolutely terrifying. Fang's beast, the wind thunder lightning cat, commanding both wind and lightning, attack speed pushed to the absolute limit. Flare's beast, the twin flame demon, its body writhed in crimson flames, master of long-range fire attacks at their most devastating. 3 monsters of entirely different specializations, their synergy virtually unbeatable. Transform into what? Mo Lin scoffed. If I transform, you would not even get a chance to try. Come at me as you are. He crooks a finger at Flare. Come on already. You were the loudest one just now. You go first. Flare snapped. Flames roared across his entire body, and he lunged straight at Mo Lin. Mo Lin activated the true dragon's second talent, Dragon War Fist, and threw one single, ordinary-looking punch. Flare was sent flying hard through the air. Mo Lin closed the distance instantly and threw another, and another. Flare was driven back step by step, unable to land a single counter. How is this possible? I am losing in a straight exchange, and he is still in human form. Now do you understand? Mo Lin said calmly. If I had transformed, you would not even qualify to raise a hand against me. In just 3 moves, Flare's combat ability had been reduced to 0. Then Fang could no longer hold back. A violent gust tore through the air, as a thick bolt of lightning crashed down straight toward Mo Lin. He raised a hand with casual ease and dissolved the lightning entirely. The indestructible dragon body at work. A human body took that directly. Commander Quinn and the others beside him were so stunned they couldn't find a single word. Now the green jade demon bolt launched into the air and slammed down onto the ground with full force. A massive shockwave erupting in every direction. At the same time Flare, having recovered slightly, let out a howl and dived straight down from above. Lightning from the front, flames from above, the ground caving in below. The coordination was absolutely flawless. That attack left no blind spots. Even if he transformed right now, he might not be able to hold it off. It is over. He is either dead or crippled after this. Commander Quinn's brow snapped into a frown, and he moved to intervene. But Celeste suddenly grabbed his arm. Wait, Commander Quinn, do not move yet. Look at him. Mo Lin's face showed not a single trace of panic. He grinned wide and called out in a clear, carrying voice, "All right, time to end this farce." A pillar of golden light pierced straight through the clouds. He transformed, taking the form of an ancient true dragon. Quinn and the others dropped their jaws, faces drained of color. He awakened a second beast, and judging by this aura, it is triple S rank. How can this be? The Wang brothers were completely at a loss. But in the very next instant, Mo Lin released a dragon's roar that shook the entire world, and a crushing, all-consuming pressure exploded outward in every direction. All three brothers were swept off their feet and hurled back by the force of it alone. Dragon might. All three felt their combat power forcibly crushed by 30%, and even the will to fight drained out of them completely. Who gave you permission to stand in my presence, on your knees? The overwhelming might of the ancient true dragon forced all three brothers to revert to human form, and slammed them hard into the ground, unable to move. The very air around them seemed to stop moving. At Black Iron Tier 10, without raising a single hand, Mo Lin had defeated 3 Bronze Tier fighters. If you are weak, train harder. If you cannot handle losing, do not play. All three brothers dragged themselves off the ground, faces pale with fear. We admit you are strong. This round is ours to lose. And what good does admitting it do? Mo Lin let out a cold laugh. You say it as though I needed your acknowledgement. Then what do you want? Pay up. Blood essence, beast cores, beast jade, serums, all of it. Otherwise, I can guarantee none of you are getting into Daxia University. All three dug out 5 vials of blood essence from bronze 5th rank beasts, plus 5 beast cores of the same rank, and shoved them over. Mo Lin pocketed everything with a satisfied grin. In the days that followed, he absorbed every drop of blood essence and every beast core, pushing his rank smoothly to bronze 1st tier. Then he pulled out the beast jade from Captain Blaze and pressed his hand to the crystal. 100% skill inheritance. He could even transform into the meteor fire wolf itself, and that gave him a perfect disguise for what he had in mind next. The underground fighting tournament. Champion takes home blood essence and a beast core from a silver 6th rank beast, plus 2 million Daxia credits in prize money. Resources were exactly what he needed. Registration done. He pulled out a wolf mask, strapped it on, and picked a fighter name, Fang Wolf. At the tournament, the scoreboard flashed. Match 1. Bronze 1st rank Fang Wolf versus Bronze 5th rank Ghostface. The crowd erupted in disbelief. A Bronze 1st rank in the advanced bracket. Is this a joke? In the VIP section, Susu grabbed Celeste excitedly and threw in 500,000 on Ghostface. 5 rank against 1 rank. Easy money. But Celeste frowned. A certain someone flashed through her mind. Susu, pull your bet. Trust me. 10,000 on Fang Wolf, 10,000 on Ghostface. The fight lasted 10 full minutes, Mo Lin putting on the most convincing performance of his life, staggering and gasping his way to a barely scraping through victory. Susu shot to her feet screaming, We won, 100,000 profit, Celeste, you absolute legend. Don't bet on Fang Wolf next round, Celeste said. This win was pure luck, and he is injured on top of that. Even Celeste had bought the act. Mo Lin slipped to the corner of the stage and waved down a security guard. Next match, 1 million on Fang Wolf. The guard stared at him, completely frozen. Bro, are you serious right now? The big screen updated. Match 2. Fang Wolf versus Bronze 8th rank Demon Lion at odds of 15 to 1. Nobody believed he had a chance. But in the next fight, when Demon Lion activated his ability and the crowd erupted with excitement, Mo Lin did something no one expected. Golden light flooded the entire stage. When it faded, a golden 5-clawed true dragon stood where he had been. Susu clapped both hands over her mouth. Celeste, this cannot be. It is. Celeste said with a helpless laugh. That's Mo. Dragon might crash down on Demon Lion, having his combat power on the spot. Mo Lin stepped forward, his dragon claw punching straight through the mystic lion's chest. Did you actually think you could fight me if I had not needed to drive my odds up? Last round would have taken me 10 seconds. Demon Lion's body flew across the stage and crashed down hard. He did not get up. Dead silence fell over the entire arena. Then the crowd, who had bet on Demon Lion, erupted in a storm of cursing. Mo Lin reverted to human form, stepped off the stage, and headed to collect his 15 million, only to be stopped by the arena director, Ashton, with a proposition: prize money up to 20 million. Blood Essence and Beast Core upgraded from silver to gold first rank, but the remaining 11 contestants, plus one more, take you on together, all 12 at once. Mo Lin had one condition of his own: 1,000 bronze rank beast carcasses thrown in on top. When the announcement hit, the arena detonated. The 12th fighter was revealed. Last year's champion, the Devil Man Triple Shot, bronze 10th rank. Triple Shot looked at Mo Lin with a cold smile. Once upon a time, I was just like you. But in the end, a man cannot outmuscle what is above him. Then 12 beasts transformed and crowded onto the stage, surrounding Mo Lin until he looked no bigger than an ant. Dragon Might activated. All 12 beasts felt their combat power crushed by 50% in an instant. Then from the void, a massive golden sword slowly rose into view, the true dragon sword, one of the supreme treasures nurtured by the dragon pearl. Mo Lin swung the sword. Several divine dragons came howling out of the blade. All 12 beasts on the stage stood paralyzed. In a single exchange, 11 beasts were either dead or broken, completely out of the fight. Triple Shot had lost every trace of his earlier swagger. His voice shook. I surrender. I am afraid not, Mo Lin said, his voice calm. You killed every challenger who came before you. Here, the same rule applies. Triple Shot tried to run, launching into the sky, and Mo Lin transformed into the 5-clawed true dragon, launched after him in one step, and pressed the true dragon sword against his throat. Go on. Try running again. Triple Shot begged for his life. Mo Lin raised the true dragon sword without hesitation, and that was when a booming voice cut through the air. Stop. And a silver-haired elder strode in, flanked by sharply dressed men. Radiating unmistakable authority, Director Ashton of Ashton Corp. Mo Lin lifted his gaze to the silver-haired man and spoke evenly. What did you just say? I do not think I caught that. Ashton's face twisted with rage. Two tyrant dragon beasts, each over 10 meters tall, appeared on the stage, silver 5th rank, roaring with terrifying force. But the pure dragon might Mo Lin radiated triggered an instinctive overwhelming suppression. In their veins, both beasts let out low, helpless whimpers and could not bring themselves a single step closer. Then Commander Quinn arrived and split Ashton's mountain-sized tyrant dragon clean in two, blood spattering across the floor. When Ashton revealed that Flair Wong had personally ordered this attack, Quinn burst out laughing, and from the stands, Tang Industries founder Ethan Tang walked calmly in, with a military war general as his personal escort. Every foothold Ashton Corp had in Shanghai province ran through Ethan Tang's world, and that world had just arrived to settle accounts. The memory modifier erased every uninvolved witness. Ashton Corp was acquired for 1 credit. Mo Lin's mask came off before the crowd. The truth of Fang Wolf spread like fire. Zane's silver dragon spear crossed half the nation that same night, crashing into the Wang family estate with a force that sent all 3 brothers back to the hospital they had just been discharged from. Patriarch Warren, sitting peacefully having tea, watched his beloved estate get bored through from top to bottom by a dragon-roaring spear, and nearly lost consciousness on the spot. The complaint Chin Hao had filed against Zane, the Wang brothers' attacks. Flair's order to Commander Saxon, every thread led back to the same source, and Ethan Tang made sure every one of them knew exactly where they stood. The Wang brothers were completely disqualified from the Daxia University exam. The Wang family took enormous losses. Zach's father collapsed on the spot from a heart attack upon hearing the news. But none of that was why Mo Lin was grinning when he walked back into his apartment. Zane had delivered on his promise, a gift, a spear-type combat weapon, arrived before the exam through Ethan Tang's hands. When Mo Lin opened the capsule, a streak of light shot out and a long spear settled steadily into his grip. Deep crimson from tip to base, blood-colored flames burning along the shaft, intricate carved reliefs radiating a warm, smoldering heat, a nearly half-meter blade dripping with bone-chilling icy light. 3 exceptional beast jades embedded within, peak of frenzied speed from the golden peng, 10,000 force from the giant will turtle, and mind control from the soul stream beast, extreme speed enhancement, devastating force amplification, and the ability to call it back with a thought at any moment. On top of that, Whenever this spear clashed with another weapon, it released a sound wave infused with blood energy that struck directly at the enemy's mind. Well, are you satisfied? Ethan Tang smiled. Zane had this crafted specifically for you. It surpasses even the first spear he ever wielded. Give it a name. Mo Lin ran his hand slowly along the crimson shaft, unable to put it down. Senior Zane has been far too generous. Then this spear shall bear a name, Heaven Devourer. The moment those words landed, the spear trembled as if awakening and let out a single, clear, resonant ring. A hero deserves a divine weapon. Now that you have the weapon, where is the hero? Mo Lin smiled to himself. Senior Tang, shall we move to the training room? What followed in that training room was the first true measure of just how far Mo Lin had come. Boom! A torrent of blood flame erupted from within him, swallowing him whole, and a crimson figure stood at the center of the floor radiating the faint shadow of a beast king. General Arden, clad in crimson armor, launched forward at full force as a sky crimson war ape 9 meters tall, and still could not put Mo Lin on the back foot. When wrathful frenzy released at full power, 10 times normal strength, held back nothing, Mo Lin turned the general from a sparring partner into a punching bag in real time. For 1 full minute, General Arden did nothing but desperately shield his face while Mo Lin hammered him from corner to corner across the entire training floor. When the red light finally dimmed, General Arden slumped on the ground in tattered crimson armor, gasping for breath, his supposedly indestructible limiter covered in cracks. And Mo Lin exited TAOTIE form, felt the tearing bone-deep agony of wrathful frenzy's aftermath, and watched it vanish completely within seconds. The indestructible dragon body, its regenerative power wiped out every after effect in moments. Does this mean I can use wrathful frenzy whenever I want from now on? The combat power meter came back completely destroyed. A bronze rank boy had shattered it. Ethan Tang's voice dropped into something deadly serious. Kid, your power has broken the limit. He explained what limit breaking meant, crossing the absolute wall between ranks, through raw personal power alone, not through weapons or serums. Celeste had achieved it, fighting above her tier through sheer talent. But Mo Lin, at bronze rank 1, had just demonstrated combat power sufficient to kill an S-rank beast at silver rank 1. A limit break of this magnitude. I have never seen anything like it. It is terrifying. 7 or 8 years ago in the All Nations Academy War, Zane fought a gold rank 7 and killed a diamond rank 1 double S talent from the Beacon Nation. It shook the entire world. But you surpassed even Zane at his peak, fresh into bronze rank 1, and already capable of matching silver rank 1. What kind of monster are you? Mo Lin's face lit up, and an idea clicked into place instantly. Is that so? I didn't realize you thought so highly of me. In that case, doesn't Senior Tang owe me some kind of reward? Ethan Tang's vision went dark. He actually said it out loud. What kind of reward are you after? Mo Lin rubbed his chin and grinned. Ashton Corp already promised me 20 million plus gold rank blood essence and beast core, at 1,000 bronze rank beast carcasses. It is the carcasses I really need more of. What if I gave back the 20 million and Senior Tang sent me 5,000 instead? Ethan Tang took a long, slow breath, studied him through narrowed eyes for a long moment, then finally nodded. Fine. Commander Quinn and Governor Roland looked like their faces were about to cramp. Running the con on Ethan Tang himself, that was something neither of them would even dream of doing. Talent really does let you get away with anything. 6,000 of the 10,000 beast carcasses needed for the TAOTIE's second trial now secured. Only 4,000 remained. The pressure dropped by more than half in an instant. The exam was coming, and everyone was moving into position. At the Qin family estate in the imperial capital, Ren trained with Rex personally for 2 weeks, armed with twin crimson flame blades forged from gold and jade 8th rank beast bones, a custom origin energy serum, and 9 elite bodyguards, including Reed, the only double S-rank awakener among them, an orphan raised by the Qin family and their most loyal blade in the shadows. Vera had already made her way to Ren's side, calculating her own angle. If she could grow close enough to him during the exam, she might one day become the young mistress of the Qin clan. Her father freed, her revenge taken, both of them united by a single purpose: find Mo Lin during the exam and end him. But things never go according to other people's plans when Mo Lin is involved. Daxia University moved the entrance exam 10 days early. The new moon beast tide had begun, and the ruins had become the trial ground. Every candidate would fight as an enlisted recruit and earn their place through military merit. The announcement sent shockwaves through every corner of the nation. This was Daxia's most prestigious institution turning a life-or-death battle against the first beast-tide wave into a freshman selection test. At the frontline garrison, the first thing the candidates encountered was admissions director Mr. Mack, who offered them a life-saving pill, watched more than half of them swallow it without question, and then told them they were all eliminated. That life-saving pill was a mud ball. The exam had begun the moment they set foot on the ground. If I told you to go die, would you do that too? Of the 282 candidates, 31 had held onto their mud balls, including Mo Lin, Celeste, and a girl named Mia Tang, heir of the Tang family of the imperial capital. Then the real chaos started, candidates attacking each other to steal the remaining mud balls. Time ticking down. Mia had awakened a double S-rank Black Thunder Shadow Butterfly, bronze rank 6 in combat strength, and she dispatched over a dozen transformed beasts in a single exchange of wind and black lightning. Mo Lin stepped in to handle the one that had slipped through, a burrowing beast, moving at full speed toward Mia's unguarded back, and with a single Dragon War elbow strike, shattered its S-rank iron armor and sent it slamming into the city wall. 31 candidates passed. The real exam lay just beyond the wall. Below the garrison, the brutality of the beast tide was in full view. Columns of smoke, countless massive beasts charging across the earth, the roaring of monsters never once falling silent. And on the horizon, half hidden in clouds, the silhouette of the city devouring beast, the double S-rank sovereign commanding this entire tide. Mo Lin vaulted off the top of the wall and crashed into the beast horde below, like a tiger descending from a mountain, heaven devourer spinning at blinding speed. The scoreboard updated slowly. At the top sat Ryan of the Zhao clan with 3.6 military merit points, Ren, 3rd place with 2.2, Celeste, 7th, 19th place, 0.9 followed by a string of 9s. Mo Lin had not taken down a single silver rank monster. He was going absolutely feral on bronze rank kills. General Arden stared at the screen, completely baffled. With your power, there's no way you should be sitting this far down the list. What are you actually doing in there? What he was doing was farming for 1,000 more beast carcasses for the TAOTIE's second trial, and finding a silver rank black mud beast that could split endlessly to provide every last one. He also found 50 candidates trapped in a mountain valley, nearly overwhelmed by an unstoppable surge of mud beasts generated by that very creature. Hugo, the black iron battle bear, had watched his closest friend of 7 years get torn apart alive before his eyes, and was seconds from the same fate when a blood-red meteor crashed down from above. The heaven devourer spun at blinding speed, and streaks of crimson spear light slashed in every direction. 1, 2, 3 mud beast after mud beast disintegrating in an instant. Every monster in the valley's rhythm shattered. The tide that 50 students could not push back was being rolled over by one person alone. Hugo tore himself free from the mud and watched with his jaw on the ground. How genius. What are we calling ourselves geniuses for? This right here, this is what a real genius looks like. But no victory came without a new threat entering the field. Ren dropped from the sky with both blades raised. Every ounce of focus locked onto Mo Lin, and from the opposite side, Reed's Azure Dragon steed led 8 S-rank beasts closing in from every angle. At the same moment, the 7-tailed vixen Lina Chu cut off Celeste and Mia on the high ground, buying time for the pincer to close. Surrounded on 3 sides, Mo Lin stood in the middle of the valley with the heaven devourer and no intention of retreating. He held nothing back. Wrathful frenzy ignited at full power, the blood around his body erupting 30 meters into the air, the beast jade and the heaven devourer blazing wildly. 10 times strength and peak speed pushed to their absolute limit simultaneously. Each strike carried enough force to split mountains and shatter stone. Ren screamed in desperate defiance, twin blades doing nothing but blocking blow after blow, his hands going numb and bleeding. Mo Lin wrenched the spear shaft sideways with a sharp snap, forced both blades off their guard position, spun, and drove a kick straight into Ren's chest. Ren's body rocketed backward like a cannonball, crashing into the forest dozens of meters away. 3 ribs shattered, deep bone-level pain shaking his entire body. If you are weak, train harder. Mo Lin's convoys cut straight through the forest. If you cannot handle losing, stay home. This is a battlefield, not your family garden. You need a squad of bodyguards just to step outside. My advice, go back home and drink your mother's milk. Ren nearly lost his mind with rage. A reed held him down and spoke with measured clarity. Mo is too strong right now. Think this through. If we go all out and both sides take losses, someone else walks away with everything. Deep in the forest, Ren screamed like a man unraveling. Mo, I am going to kill you. I will kill you. And on a sandy hill a mile away, the figures had watched it all unfold. Ryan of the Zhao clan, the foremost talent of his clan's third generation, self-declared holder of all 10 parts of the Zhao clan's famed arrogance, had watched Mo Lin work through that valley and said only one word, passable. Beside him, Lina Chu pressed her lips into a smile. Ryan, that is beyond arrogant. Ren's awakened beast is double S rank, and in your mouth he does not even qualify to throw a punch. Ryan stepped off the sandy hill and dropped into the forest below. First place in this exam is mine. Anyone who wants to challenge that dies. Lena watched his silhouette flicker and vanish, then turned and sprinted in the opposite direction. Ryan, Ren, both fuller of themselves than the last. But this top spot, the so-called mere woman had every intention of fighting for it too. And somewhere below in the blood-soaked ruins, Mo Lin was still moving, heaven devourer spinning. TAOTIE mark yawning open wide, every shattered beast corpse devoured whole, the count climbing. The 10,000 beast trial was almost within reach, and the Daxia University exam had only just begun. For ancient fierce beasts waiting inside the Ten Fiends Divine Temple, a nation of enemies gathering their forces, a war with the beast tide cresting on the horizon. The boy everyone had laughed at, the one who awakened a crumbling stone hut, at the lowest possible rank, stood at the center of it all. Not because he had been given anything, because he had devoured everything thrown at him and asked for more. The TAOTIE feeds on the sun, the moon, and the stars themselves. So what chance did the contempt of ordinary people ever really have? In this world, power is not given, it is consumed piece by piece, until what was laughed at becomes something no one dares face. Mo Lin had not arrived at the top, not yet, but every step forward was built on the wreckage of every person who had ever looked down on him. Principal Wade, who expelled him in public, Vera, who walked away without a glance, Rex, who thought a war king's displeasure was enough to break him, Pen, who challenged him in a death match to prove a point. Every single one of them had become a rung on a ladder they never intended to build. And at the top of that ladder, the Ten Fiends Divine Temple was still waiting, 8 ancient beasts still sealed in darkness, 8 trials still ahead, 8 more transformations yet to come. This was not a story about a boy who got lucky. This was a story about what happens when the most dangerous thing in the world finally stops hiding. The awakening ceremony was the day the world laughed at Mo Lin for the last time. Everything after that was the world learning to be afraid.